they banned history, especially these ones, to keep your self-esteem low. Hello, welcome to Joadre. I am Joana. Today I am going to share my proven strategies to help you boost your self-esteem as an African and a diaspora. I went to primary and secondary school in Nigeria. I went to schools that it was literally like forbidden to speak your indigenous language. Growing up in Nigeria, which was colonized by the British Empire, people were mobilized to adopt like a pure English culture. How this translated into the family was you had parents who were just working and doing things from the best of their ability and knowledge and capacity at that moment. So for them, they wanted us to have like a chance in the global world. And for them, it meant that we had to speak English. So I remember moments where my parents will speak a Edo language together to themselves, but when they're speaking to us, they'll just quickly transit in English. And so I went to this school where you had to speak English. If you did not express yourself with the highest kind of English, you will be looked at like you're a failure, you do not belong. To be part of the group and to actually belong and show that the school they're sending you to, you are getting something out of it, we had to speak English. So that made my indigenous Edo language be pushed to the background. And when it came to like literature or history, we had to learn history from the British Empire. We had to read Shakespeare instead, probably that we would have read Frantz Fanon or Chinua Achebe. There was Chinua Achebe in school, but the focus was if you could recite Shakespeare, Macbeth, you were like one of the most brilliant students. So literally promoting within a whole generation that a foreign language, foreign literatures, foreign cultures and identity is what they should embrace will cause kind of identity issue. How did you need to speak and what knowledge did you need to have to be educated? So it's when I started traveling and seeing different cultures and seeing how even in the West there is, this deep preservation of their cultural identity and heritage. I was like, what? Like, look at that film, The Vikings, and all the rituals they did. And then they say, we're barbaric, When I began to see how cultural identity really helps shape your own mindset, your own self-value, your own self-worth, that's when my journey started. So for me, I had that struggle like, who am I? I had to start figuring out my own identity, and that was how my journey to uplifting and boosting my own self-esteem, right? So it was a whole transition from I'm Black to I'm African. So I promised I'm going to share my strategies for you to boost your self-esteem as an African and diaspora. But before then, let me just explain what that upbringing, what it did to me. As a child, all the things you learn, either in school or from your parents, they shape how you perceive yourself. They shape how you see yourself in the grand scheme of the world. So what happens is you tend to feel like you're not enough. You tend to feel like if you don't do that perfectly, you can't measure up. You tend to take other people's standards as your standard and you lose yourself. That's where the whole drama of low self-esteem starts to come in. I had to go on my own journey on trying to learn how do I build my self-esteem, because with a high and healthy self-esteem, you become bold enough to think. You become bold enough to dream. You address things with a solution-oriented approach, right? And you trust yourself to make that pitch. You trust yourself to write that plan. You trust yourself to think that idea. You trust yourself to be able to bring things to fruition. I just wanted to harvest this benefit. So I had to start crafting out strategies, and here are the strategies I really cherish. I keep doing them. Anytime I feel like, my self-esteem has been injured, I grab the strategies, because it's an ongoing process. It's not like you do it and that's it. No, it's an ongoing process. But now knowing the strategies that I use, you can actually craft out what works for you. So the first one is the cultural pride empowerment. It's a CPE. This is all about understanding who you are in terms of where you come from, the history, your identity, the brave and great things that your lineage did, what your ancestors did, the languages that were spoken. And this means you have to go into this journey of research and reading stuff, like listening to podcasts, attending cultural festivals, being really part of a cultural space that helps you gain more knowledge and understanding about your people. And part of it will lead you to actually finding things within your culture and traditions that you celebrate. So stay free, stay informed. Let's forge a bold future together because you've got the power. Activate it.